This is Justin from MakeUseOf.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Xiaomi Mi Pad 2, an 8-inch tablet that is definitely an iPad mini copycat, but might actually be worth it. The 64GB version that we reviewed costs $280, has an Intel Atom processor, 2GB of RAM, and a better than full HD IPS display. Physically, it looks almost exactly like an iPad mini. Instead of a single physical home button, it has 3 capacitive keys: recents, home, and back. Along the bottom is the USB Type-C port, the right side houses the power and volume buttons, and the headphone jack is along the top. There's no place for a micro SD card slot though, which is why we'd recommend you spring for the 64GB version over the 16GB version. 2 small speakers line the lower back of the device, but they are surprisingly loud and crisp for a tablet. There's an 8-megapixel camera on the back and a 5-megapixel camera on the front, neither of which will blow you away, but they're both highly capable of taking solid photos. On the screen itself, you won't be seeing any pixels given its high resolution, and though the screen doesn't get the absolute brightest, it didn't fare too poorly outdoors. If we take a look at the software side of things, you see even more nods to Apple's design. The Mi Pad 2 is running MIUI 7, which is a heavily forked version of Android 5.1 Lollipop that looks nothing like stock Android. Instead, it looks much more like iOS. All your apps sit out on the home screen because there's no app drawer, but swiping all the way to the left will give you a page for widgets. Pulling down from the top will show you your notifications, and then swiping to the side will show your quick settings. From any screen, pressing the Recents button will bring up a horizontally scrolling list of your Recents apps. The lock screen likewise looks a lot like iOS, though you swipe up to unlock the device, or swipe in from the right to access the camera quickly. In terms of performance, I found the tablet to be nice and quick. Multitasking was easy and scrolling wasn't ever a problem. The only real issue I ran into was around gaming. Several major games showed up on the Play Store as not compatible with my device, and the games that I was able to download and play, like Asphalt 8, were laggy and difficult to play. That being said, if you're not a huge gamer or only play casual games, this might not be a deterrent. As far as battery life is concerned, the Mi Pad 2 did well conserving battery when not in use, but under heavy usage only got about 4 hours of screen on time. This is definitely adequate for leaving around the house and using every once in a while, but it's not amazing. Thankfully though, it does support fast charging and can go from 0 to 100 in under 2 hours. Overall, I think the Mi Pad 2 generally does its job well. It offers a decent, cheaper alternative to the iPad mini, even though it's certainly not perfect. If that's what you're looking for, it could be worth it, but if you're just looking for a straight-up, powerful Android tablet, you could definitely do better. Be sure to head on over to MakeUseOf.com to read the full review and find out how you could win a Xiaomi Mi Pad 2 for yourself.